Hi everyone, my name is Melanie Weineck. I'm a nurse at the Mass General Cancer Center at Newton Wellesley Hospital. I took the Mind-Body Health course through the Mass General Institute of Health, where I learned a lot of mindful activities and exercises. I read a lot of articles about mind-body health through this course, and I've taken a special interest in it through the last 8 or so years of my life. This week in Paving the Path to Wellness, you discussed taking a time out. So the Paving Steps workbook gives great examples of when to take a time out. It says humans are meant to focus for 90 minutes and then need time to recover. This actually helps increase productivity. The handout I'm sharing with you explains how to practice a mindful timeout. First, I wanted to talk to you about what mindfulness is. For those of you who may not know, I'm going to share an image with you. So this is an image that I like that helps demonstrate visually what mindfulness is. So it's a little man who his mind is full. He's thinking about all the things that are going on, all the things he has to do, the people he has to think about, his work, just the chaos in his mind. And then his dog, who is taking a mindful break and just being present in the moment, taking in the scene, sensing all of its feelings, all of the senses. And I just wanted to read to you mindfulness as defined by Jon Kabat-Zinn is the awareness that emerges through paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, non-judgmentally, to the unfolding of experience moment to moment. So, as you can see, the dog is practicing mindfulness and the man's mind is full. And then I just wanted to share with you this handout. So you should have received this handout or will be receiving this handout along with one other one. It's called Practicing Mindful Timeouts. So it helps to regroup and rejuvenate. And Viktor Frankl is a Holocaust survivor. He was a psychiatrist who was in a concentration camp. He says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So essentially, this means when you feel a trigger, let's say someone cuts you off in traffic, many people immediately respond in anger. When you start practicing timeouts, you start to notice there's a split second between the action and the reaction. In that second, you can often choose how mad this is going to make you. And you can also choose how you want to respond. It has been helpful for me to consciously practice taking a break because it's taught me how to notice that split second more often. Sometimes in the heat of a moment, it can behoove you to say, I'm not sure how I feel yet. I'd like an opportunity for what you said to sink in. And that's okay to do. The workbook also suggests taking a bathroom break. And in that bathroom break, check in with yourself, see how you feel, take a deep breath, gather yourself. And doing this can help smooth conflict resolution. After practicing, you may find that you're able to take your time out in one deep breath. Practicing can help change the way you respond so you don't automatically go into fight, flight, or freeze protective mechanism. Emotions are not our identity. They come and they go. We suggest using statements like I feel instead of I am or you did this, you did that. This will help emotions pass as well as prevent defensiveness from others. The specific emotion I'm feeling often determines the type of timeout that I take. If I'm feeling mad, it's productive for me to go in my car and scream as loud as I possibly can. If I'm frustrated, sometimes I flap my arm to try to get it out. Doing this helps acknowledge and move through emotions. So when we're feeling stressed, it activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, flight, or freeze response. When you take a time out, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which allows you to have a rational response. Oftentimes, you can express your emotions calmly from that space and actively listen to other people's feelings. So this handout goes through a few different practices. We're going to first start by talking about how to grow a practice. When creating a practice, explore the available options. We're going to give you some. Pick one or two that you feel resonate best with you. This will be different for each individual person and circumstance. It is best to start small and then grow. It is more effective to practice mindfulness meditation for 1 minute every day instead of 30 minutes once a week. Mindful practice takes time to develop and get used to. When you notice your mind wandering, this is the nature of your mind. It's supposed to be able to think about different things. Gently call your mind back to the present. Avoid judging yourself for this. Mindfulness is about accepting without judgment. So the first exercise that's also listed in the workbook is 4-7-8 breathing. You breathe in for the count of 4 seconds, hold for 7, and breathe out for 8. You can adjust the numbers based on what is comfortable for you. And then mantra. These focus on one word while you breathe in, focus on another word while you breathe out. So Rochelle Lemaster, the social worker at the Mass General Cancer Center at Newton Wellesley Hospital, shared with me just this. So when you breathe in, you think of the word just, and as you breathe out, you say this. And you do that, you can count how many times you're doing that on your fingers. You can do it on mala beads or prayer beads. Each bead, if you have mala or prayer beads, represents each time that you've said a mantra. So it helps you keep track of how many you've done, how many you're doing. So you can use phrases like, I honor myself with each bead, or counting how many times you're doing it, just repeating, I honor myself, I honor myself, I honor myself. I deserve peace, I deserve peace, I deserve peace. And oftentimes, you may or may not have mala or prayer beads, so you can count on your fingers. That's okay too. So the Hummingbird meditation is the next one listed. It's called Bhramari Pranayama. It's one of my favorite meditations that I practice. I usually do this when I drive into work, I park my car, and then I practice the Hummingbird meditation for just a couple minutes. I think it feels like a reset button. It's very effective in instantly calming the mind. It releases the mind of agitation, frustration, anxiety, and anger. So this breathing technique derives its name from the black Indian bee called Bhramari, which is a type of bee, and pranayama, which is a breathing technique. So it's called Bhramari Pranayama. So to practice this, you're going to sit comfortably with your eyes closed. You try to keep a gentle smile on your face. Your lips should be together, but your teeth should stay apart. And you place your index fingers on the cartilage in front of your ear. So you take a deep breath in. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, you push on that cartilage and hum as you breathe out. So it's So if everyone wants to try doing that, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, push on the cartilage in front of your ear and hum. You can change the pitch. It can be high or low pitch. You can do whatever feels best for your current state. And usually I do this for 11 breaths. So you breathe in, hum as you breathe out, and that's one breath. The next activity is a 5-sense check-in. Checking in with the senses helps us get more into the present moment. So you focus on each sense. So you focus on what you see, focus on what you hear, focus on what you smell, focus on what you taste, focus on what you feel. A lot of people like to do this one at the beach or in a field, in a park, while hiking. It's easy to do this one somewhere in nature or listening to a waterfall, something like that. And you can use these senses to escape to one of your favorite places if you're not somewhere where you really want to be present in what's exactly going on. So you're focusing all of those senses, but visualizing yourself in one of your favorite places that you've either been to or that you've imagined or seen in a picture. And again, you're checking in with yourself. You let yourself take a break in a peaceful place. Oftentimes you can set a timer so that you don't stay in that place for too long, but it's nice to take a little break from reality. Informal mindfulness practice is when you set an intention to do an activity or a task with mindful awareness. So it can be as simple as brushing your teeth. Usually when we're brushing our teeth, we're thinking about other things, but with this activity, you pause before you begin, and you set the intention to focus on your sensory experience, thoughts or emotions, while you're brushing your teeth. So if at any point you think about judgments or other things that you need to be doing, you train your mind to redirect to this activity. Inevitably, your attention will wander off, and that's okay. Gently bring your mind back to the activity. This process of returning to the present moment, it makes this a mindfulness practice. The rest of the list goes through different activities that you can do mindfully. The idea is to do any of these activities just focusing on the activity, not thinking about what you have to do next, what you're going to make for dinner, whatever your to-do list might be. It's letting all that go and getting yourself to focus on the present moment. And the walking meditation is the final activity on this list. Again, it's checking in with your senses, while walking. So it's getting yourself to stay present. So this is a list of what you can ask yourself. How do my toes feel? How do my soles feel? It's getting in your body, really feeling the walk. And it helps make taking a walk take into a break. So, and then I do want to share with you just a quick 3-minute breathing space that we're going to practice together. But first, we're going to go through a handout that has it written on it for you. Let's try that again. There we go. So we're going to do a 3-minute practice. This handout was actually shared with me from one of the mental health workers in the psychiatric department at Newton Wellesley Hospital. So it's a tool that they give to people to use, and it's from hallucemindfulness.com. So it's a nice little acronym, which always makes things a little easier. So they use the acronym STOP. So the S stands for stop and take stock. Check in with the head, heart, and body. Notice what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, what your sensations are, what is your experience right now. And then you're going to take a breath. Direct your awareness away from what your mind is thinking to just focusing on your breath. So the breathing in and breathing out, whatever your normal rhythm may be, you don't need to try to control it. It's just to harness your attention and your focus. And the next step, O, is open and observe, expanding awareness outward. So from your breath, you're focusing on what you're sensing in the rest of your body. It can be, if you're feeling anger, sometimes you feel anger somewhere in your body. And you're just focusing on what you feel. And then the P stands for proceed and new possibilities, continuing without expectations. So this actually helps break patterns of how you habitually respond and allows you to respond with the space that you're in right now. So sometimes doing the stop, it can help you proceed without, blurting out in anger or saying things that you're going to regret. It helps you, come from a new space. So this activity that I'm going to share with you, the 3-minute breathing space, I did learn through the Mass General Institute of Health. So become seated in a comfortable position with your spine upright. You may gaze with your eyes open slightly, or you may close them. For the first minute, we're going to check in with how you truly feel right now in this moment. You may begin by asking yourself, what do I notice? Just checking in with the body, scanning from head to toe. Notice any emotions that may be present. Notice any thoughts going through the mind. Notice any sounds or scents in the environment. Remember, mindful experience means noticing these experiences with curiosity, not to judge them. In the second minute, begin to direct your attention to your breath. You do not need to try to control it. Breathe in a way that feels natural to you. You may notice if it is fast or slow, shallow or deep. Where in the body do you feel the breath? Can you notice the space between breaths? Notice when your mind is distracted and gently call it back to focusing on the breath. Do you feel the inhale on your nostrils? Where do you feel your exhale? For the last minute, expand your attention out from the breath to feeling your entire body. You can scan the body or try to notice it all at once. As you explore the body, remain open and accepting to your experience as it is. Just be with what you notice in the body right now. Stay present here in the body. Notice how you feel in the body. How you feel in your mind. And know that you may now proceed from this new space. You do not need to respond habitually, but instead, you may remain open, curious, and grounded. And on the next exhale, bring yourself back to this present moment, picturing the room that you're in. As you gently release this practice, you may open your eyes. So the idea of this practice is to help take a time out. So in those moments where we're feeling overwhelmed or stressed and we're not sure how to respond, if you're able to communicate that you need to take a break, this is a good practice to try. Even just practicing it can help you feel more prepared in those moments that you feel stressed out. So thank you all for sharing this practice with me. I hope the handout helps you. If anyone would like to share their experience with this activity, and if you have any things to discuss about the handout, please feel free to do so. You can have my email address as well. Feel free to email me with any questions. Take care.